Juniper. Come here. Oh, I already harvested that.
I always felt a great deal of guilt
what
running
the-
from Nightcaller Temple and leaving my friends to die. I'll never forgive myself for that.
Arender, where have you been? Where did you come from? You've been missing for like... Jeez, I mean, I suppose you've been missing since I went on my drunken binge. I suppose you went on your own drunken binge, Arender. And you've only finally found me. God. Yeah, you gotta love whenever Skyrim does its little, you know, song and dance there, and it just becomes, bizarrely broken. Didn't expect to find an iron vein here. Anyway, the Debella statuette should be in some sort of a Forsworn hideout or camp or something right up the, okay, yeah, sure enough, I heard it en route. It should be, in a camp or something somewhere up the mountain here, not too far away. Just had to cross the Karth. I believe this is the Karth anyway. Oh, check it out. I need petty souls because I am now in the process of using an enchanted weapon. I've been avoiding using enchanted weapons mostly because I needed the gems to level up my enchanting skill. Good job, Arender. First thing you do when you come back is you kill a mud crab in cold blood. That's what I need. I need a cold-blooded mud crab killer. Anyway. Yeah, I've avoided using I've avoided using enchanted weapons because you have to recharge them. For the express purpose that it's faster to level up my enchanting by making enchanted items. Now that my enchanting is maxed out, granted I still got to get the last perk, which I don't know when I'm gonna get it because my equipment is carrying through just fine right now. That and the fact that getting my hands on grand soul gems, well, I was about to say that it's not so easy, but filling grand soul gems isn't so easy, but actually finding soul gems with grand souls in them, like purchasing them, not so difficult. And it's not exactly it's not like I'm wanting for money either. Come on, Arender, hurry up. Okay, this should be the place. I think that this is it. Alright, let's get Stony up. Red Eagle Redoubt discovered. Sure enough. Come on, you douchebags. I'm gonna have a much easier time now that Arender decided to show up. I didn't even, like, I was pumping potions left and right in that last cave that I was inside of. I don't remember what the name of the cave was. Yeah, it was, you know, it was the cave with the tower inside of it. Anyway. Looking kind of barren out here. Surprisingly small camp out front. Of course, again, you never know with the Forsworn. Hello. It's like, I mean, I know that it's not for everybody, but one of the things that I really, really love about Skyrim, and to a certain extent, you know,
I've never admitted this before, but I've killed more than I care to admit. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, Arender, you're certainly not you're not getting away from that lifestyle. You're still helping me to kill more than you care to admit. Come on, Red Eagle's Ascent. Let's go. Anyways, like I was saying, the thing that I really like about Skyrim, and to a certain extent, the Fallout franchise, as Bethesda has their hand on it, is the fact that there's all of these random bits and pieces that you can find in the world, and I really like the idea of using those random bits and pieces for various, very unique forms of crafting. It allows for a different and quite unique style of gameplay. Alright, let's just practice our conjuration on this Forsworn. Not that it matters for anything. It's not like I'm gonna be able to, not enough magicka. It's not like I'm gonna be able to capture any souls. I don't have black soul gems. Ow, man. That actually reminds me, one thing that I am distinctly unhappy with about Skyrim, it's a relative thing really, is the fact that the base game doesn't allow you to craft black soul gems. In Oblivion, it was possible. There were 3 locations in the world where you could go. You could, there were these special altars that were put up by necromancers, and if you waited for a certain day of the month, basically, whenever the whenever the moon was glowing red, basically when you had a blood moon or a harvest moon or whatever you want to call it, I believe the celestial phenomenon was called the Shade of the Revenant. If you went to one of these special altars in the world that necromancers had erected, and put grand soul gems into them, and then cast Soul Trap on the altar, you would turn your grand soul gems into black soul gems so that you could capture people. And it was like, oh my god, that is so phenomenally valuable, because, you know, grand soul gems are... Jeez, that's a lot of rocks. Don't get hit by the rocks there. Okay, fine, yeah. I suppose Stony wouldn't be afraid of rocks, he's made of rock. Doesn't know better. Anyways, but yeah, it was possible to create black soul gems in Oblivion, which is something that I really liked, because it made it possible to, you know, just get your hands on the best soul gems right out of the gate, and you could craft the best soul gems in the game. It was incredibly valuable. All you'd have to do is run around to a bunch of vendors and, you know, Mages Guild halls, buy up the grand soul gems, and then convert them inside of these altars, which, you know, was no challenge given that if you used the wait command, right? For the right day. So that was really nice. They don't have that in this game. Granted, it is possible to craft black soul gems in this game, if you have the, whatchamacallit, alright, I did not mean to pick up that axe.
I've admitted this before, but I've killed more than I care to admit. I'll just leave it at that.
What the heck does this thing do? Does it shut it off? Maybe it does, I'm not certain. Anyways, it's possible to craft black soul gems here in Skyrim, but you have to have the Dawnguard DLC, and whenever you use it, there are specific locations inside of, oh jeez, I forgot what it's called. It's the Plane of the Ideal Masters, the Soul Cairn, there we go. If you go to the Soul Cairn in Skyrim, you can craft black soul gems at certain altars there. But you can only craft one at a time, you can't craft them en masse, and the things deactivate, basically. You use them once, they deactivate, and they follow the spawn rules in the game, which is basically, well, you better wait an in-game month before that's going to reactivate. And it's like, man, that is really, really inconvenient. So, you know, you've got your options here. But jeez, getting right up in my face there, Errander. It's not as impressive or useful as what was available in Oblivion. But that's just a nitpick of mine, you know. I know a lot of people don't feel too kindly towards the idea of having to charge up their weapons in Skyrim in the first place, which, you know, I'll never understand people's problems with just performing basic maintenance on their gear. I like it, you know. I'm certain that, you know, making statements like this will bring a deluge of comments where people are like, oh, I like it for this reason, or I dislike it for this reason, and, you know, whatever. You're gonna like what you like. Personally, I like maintenance systems in games where it's like, yeah, you kinda need to take care of your equipment, it's important. So, inconvenient, annoying, yeah, I get it, but I like that stuff, so. Alright, come on, you douchebags. Taste my soul trap spell.
We're routed! Fall back!
Well, if you're routed, you shouldn't have been... Well, I mean... I was about to tell him, hey, you're routed, you should probably not be attacking me, but then again, I'm walking... Woo! Just launch him. You're routed, you probably shouldn't be attacking me, but then again, I'm walking right into his house, so... Yeah, son of a indeed. Ow! Hey! You know what? Let's capture you as much as I can. Jesus. I'm lucky there. He's like the bite of a flea, exactly like everyone says there. I am so close to leveling up too. You know what? I'll let you take care of that, Errander. I'm gonna go ahead and loot this guy over here. With this. Just the potions that I'm picking up are gonna be worth all the money alone. You little... How dare you get away from me like that? Ah. You know what?
Please don't kill me.
Nope, nope. You were trying to kill me first, so that means I've got to try to kill you. Successfully, I might add. So, come here. Douchebag. So many arrows. Arrows are wonderful whenever I'm trading because... Oh my god, Arender. Arender? Did you just kill him? Frost dick. I think he just killed Arender. Tossing him around like a ragdoll. Oh no. What the hell? Okay. Arender's not dead. That's good. Relatively speaking, don't let him know that I... Jesus, is Arender dead now? I can't tell. Just falls over like that. Maybe he's just out of stamina. I know it's possible to get knocked over if you're at 0 stamina.
I yield. I yield.
Well, you'll yield to my face to yours? Oh, okay, well, that was one big camp of Forsworn, but they're dealt with now. Nothing to worry about. Oh, jeez. You know what I really, really want to do? I want to do, but my character build is wrong for it. Reality and other falsehoods. Sweet, alteration is increased. Oh, and I've leveled up. Nice. I'll save this level up for another time.
I'm enjoying this journey with you. Not for the wealth we've accumulated, but just being able to carry Mara's will to every corner of Skyrim.
Stop proselytizing to people. For God's sake, it's really annoying. I know. Do you have a moment to talk about Our Lady Mara? Go away. Anyways. What do we have? Elven armor. Still no hammer. Still no hammer. You wouldn't have a blessing that would bring hammers into my life, would you, Arender? I mean, it would be particularly valuable to me at this point, especially how I'm having 0 luck in getting hammers. It's ridiculous is what it is. Like, legitimately ridiculous. Anyways, there's a playstyle that I would really like. Just stealth playstyles are the most common playstyle that I go with. Whenever I first got this game, the first thing I did was I knew that the Thieves Guild was located in Riften because I had been watching, you know, like the hyped videos and whatnot. And there was a mention by one of the developers, it was probably Todd Howard, that found someone else, did you? That Riften was the place where the Thieves Guild was. So I specifically, you know, journeyed out to Riften the hard way, looking to become a member of the Thieves Guild, because that's my default style. I like to play a rogue or a thief. If neither of those are an option, I'll play an assassin. I just like being able to sneak. Anyways, something that, you know, was discovered is that Briar Hearts here, if you sneak pickpocket them and you take their Briar Heart, they instantaneously die, and that was just a really, really cool thing to learn. The fact that you could... my god, this guy is a armory of ebony weapons. It's just really, really cool, the ability to like sneak up on a boss class character, which is what a Briarheart is. A Briarheart is a boss quality character, and just kill them instantly by pickpocketing. Hello. Red Eagle's Right. Having bathed the blade in human blood present at Rebel's cairn, together with your sacrifice and intone, Lord Red Eagle, Ancient One, first and foremost among the Reachmen, heed the call of your people. Still we fight for freedom. Still our blades are dark with blood. Turn your gaze upon us and grant us your blessing anew. I renew the ancient covenant. When at last our lands are free, we shall return, your sword of victory in hand. Then arise, O Great One, from your honored tomb. Reclaim thy stolen throne. Rule over us, High Lord of the Reach, forevermore. This might be relevant. The Legend of Red Eagle by Tradian Dren, Archivist of Winterhold. This tale was transcribed from the memory of Clarice Vienne, student of Winterhold. Elements of the legend suggest a date Sira First Era 1030, though as with any oral tradition, much of it is likely a later anachronism. Curiously, stories of a similar king and his legendary blade appear in other ancient myths of the Reach. Long ago, a child was born in the Sundered Hills. They named him Fallon, which means Red Eagle in the tongue of the Reach. for the screeching bird call that greeted his birth, and the crimson blooms on the autumn hills. Thus began his legend, Reach Child, born under auspicious skies, his very name the color of blood. 10 kings ruled the Reach in those days, and though men were free, the people were scattered and warred amongst themselves. The augurs foresaw the boy's destiny, a warrior without peer, first and foremost Lord of the Reach, chosen to unite all under his name. Fowlin grew in years and strength, and it seemed the prophecy would be fulfilled. The banner of the Red Eagle was raised along the cliffs of the Reach, and his people prospered. Then came Hestra, the Empress of the South, riding to war. One by one, the kings stood before her. One by one, they fell aside, bending knee to imperial bargains, or slaughtered on the battlefield. Her legions came at last to the sundered hills, and envoys were sent to bargain for their surrender. Fowlin refused to yield the freedom of his people, but the elders were afraid, cast him out, and accepted the imperial yoke. Thus was stolen by the foreign invaders his land, his people, his very name. In the years that followed, Red Eagle became known as the untamed spirit of the Reach, unbowed, unbroken, stained by the blood of his foes. He gathered loyal Reachmen to himself, those who clung to the old ways, who yearned for freedom, and forged a new nation. Together they fell upon the occupiers and traitors by night, disappearing into the cliffs and caves each morn, evading capture. It was not enough, though. For every Imperial patrol and garrison they wiped out, yet more seemed to march from the green south to replace them. Then, one night, under a cloud-choked sky, the men of the Red Eagle warmed themselves over damp fires of smoldering moss. A huddled, shambling figure came to them, cloaked in rags, face cowled. Though his men mocked and cast stones at the stranger, Fowlin sensed something and beckoned. The cowl was thrown back in the dim light, and she revealed herself to be one of the ancient and venerable hag-ravens. She offered power for a price, and a pact was made. Thus was brokered to the witch his heart, his will, his humanity. From that day forward, he was a spirit of vengeance, pitiless and beyond remorse. The rebels grew in strength and numbers, and none could stand against them. Fowlin's eyes burned coldly in those days, black opals reflecting a mind not entirely his own. 2 years passed, and the foreigners were all but driven from the Reach. Such peace could not last, however, and a great host fell upon them, a swift army of invaders unlike any before. For a fortnight, Hestra's generals laid siege to Red Eagle's stronghold, till he himself came forth for battle, alone and robed in nothing but his righteous fury. 1,000 foreigners fell before his flaming sword, and the enemy was routed. Yet, when night fell, so too did he. The warriors who came to him said Fowlin's eyes were clear again that final night. He was taken to the place prepared for him, a tomb hidden deep within the rock. With his remaining strength, he presented his sword to his people and swore an oath. Fight on, and when at last the Reach is free, his blade should be returned, that he might rise and lead them again. Thus was given for his people his life, his dream, his sword. But when every debt is repaid in blood, these he shall reclaim once more.
I'll never forgive myself for that.
Yeah, real cool there, Errand, or whatever. Not like I've heard that story before. I get the feeling, yeah, sure enough. This is a very short dungeon. Just pick up that sword and then I walk right in. I guess Red Eagle is in here. So let's grab a bit more magicka. I mean, it's the right time to spend my my level up. And alteration. I could do two-handed, but you know what I want to do? I'm still relying on conjuration really heavily. I'm gonna take atromancy, I think it is. No, it's not. Elemental potency. Here we go. This is what I want because it makes my my summons 50% more powerful. Incredibly valuable. I might take Twin Souls. I'm not certain if that's something that I want in the long run. Okay, Red Eagle. Let's see what you're made of. Screwed up with my keys there. That was supposed to be my armor spell. I've still got one more armor spell to upgrade to. Well, technically two, really, because there's a master level. All right. Resisted soul trap. Great. Alright, Eagle. How about we do it to you? Woo. I see you got some ice breath going on there, man. Do that, Errander. Tank for me. I mean, he is, I would say that he's not that much of a problem, but he's 3-1 right now. Technically 2-1 at the current moment. Come here, Fallon. Death to you, Red Eagle. Champion of the Reach. He's nothing compared to me. The Dovahkiin. Haha. Alright, good job, Errander. You did a very good job of soaking up all of the cuts and the stabs. And that was incredibly fast. Well. I've got a sneaking suspicion that there's not much of anything valuable for loot inside of this chamber. I mean, other than the primary loot chest right over there, which I'll get to in a moment. I just want to check off the sides. I'm one of those very, very thorough people. Not everybody's into the concept of micromanaging stuff. Like I said before, I really like the idea of... I like all of the little bits and pieces in the game, like skulls and linen wraps and ruined books and tongs and like embalming tools and all of this stuff that's completely useless. I mean, okay. An ebony bow. I mean, I haven't seen one of those before. But still no hammer. Jeez. Ugh. But yeah, I really, really like the idea of all of these tiny little bits and pieces being in the world. And what I like even more is the idea that you can use them all. Now, as far as like Fallout 4 went, where everything had a use because it was made of a component, that's not what I mean. What I mean is like a really, really obscure crafting thing that you can do. Like, I remember something in Fallout 3 where it was possible to find a machine that would turn mole rat meat into something that was like it turned it into a very, very high potent health restoring item. It was a machine that you would put mole rat meat in it and wonder glue, and you would get something really, really awesome out of it. So, you know, tiny little things like that where it's like, oh my god, these things that I thought had no use actually have use all of a sudden. And I like playing a game on a micro level like that. So, yes, indeed. I mean, it's not like we killed the dead corpse of a champion in here, Errander. Anyways, I don't really know where I'm gonna head from here on out. Rorik's Dead is around the corner, but then I have a lot of quests to return to Markarth. We'll see.